basically on this card, on this card, yeah, so it looks like they both gave column 2. This was a card where there were so many options available everywhere that we really weren't sure what they were going to choose. Column 2 was definitely the one that stood out in our mind, but it could have been so many others as well. And it looks like they've both chosen column 2. So we're off, and they are both going to be starting with series. Beeps with a beautiful, beautiful black timer. Yeah, Beeps and ptoil, making it very, very hard for our amazing tracker, LinkForce0, who has to now count to 25 twice, which is not an easy task at all. Make sure you give our tracker a follow, LinkForce, for doing an amazing job and volunteering for this. So they're both heading through series doing the normal things, only this time instead of just being able to play the game, they are both staring intently at the bingo card, trying to figure out which row or column or diagonal to match with this. And it's much harder. It is unbelievably harder to play when you have to think about that as well. Let's count to 25 twice, Twitch chat. This is a game of everybody. Us, Beeps, ptoil, and Twitch chat, and LinkForce, all trying to manage to count to 25 twice. So now we should be trying to figure out what can chain well with column 2. So one of the big decisions for column 2 is, do you kill Dragon or do you kill Ridley? And top left, bottom right is unfortunately approximately off limits, because top left, bottom right requires you to skip Speed Booster. It would be possible with sufficiently advanced magic, but we would not expect anybody to attempt that in a race setting. And it looks like neither of these runners is going to moonfall. They are both using what Kip would refer to as appropriate fall speed. So defeat Dragon. Defeat Dragon is a tile. Is in 1-1, and that could allow it to chain with row 1, or it could allow it to chain with row. So with row 1, defeat Dragon will be very easy. The 60 missiles is very easy. 20 supers is absolutely trivial, since you're going through the wreck ship and through Meridia with Speed Booster. So that's a very easy tile. Both Brinstar recharge stations. Unless either of these runners is going to be hell running, then both Brinstar missile stations is also a very easy one to get. So that would just leave 25 power bombs. So row 1 chains very well. Row 1 chains very well together with column 2. The other options, so bottom left, top right is also not an option because it skips Speed Booster style. Skip Speed Booster tile. So one of the options for skipping suits, and Beeps with a very, very early beta missiles pickup. Beeps might not be coming back for Billy Mays. So one of the options for not getting both suits would be to do RBO up to speed. And we were thinking about how we're talking through the timing of that after our match versus Kip. And we believe that getting the wreck ship reserve, RBO up to speed is actually the fastest path if you're comfortable with it, if you don't die. And we know that Beeps is definitely an RBO runner. We're not sure if anybody's actually done that yet, but we think that if it were an incredibly strong runner, that would definitely be an option. So column 1 is another option, but column 1 looks much uglier. Row 4. So skip wave beam is pretty free. Finish in an elevator. Finish in an elevator is pretty free if you're gonna end at plasma. Fully explore the wreck ship would take a little bit of time, and 30 missiles is free, and 3 E-tanks is going to be free as well. So row 4 and row 1 are the 2 rows that we're eyeing the most. And we think that the difference... We're actually not sure whether row 1 or row 4 would be better. Because it's basically the 25 power bombs that would take time in row 1 versus fully exploring the wreck ship. You're thinking column 4. That's a very, very interesting thing to look at as well. So it looks like the runners are about even. They're both in Alcatraz, and Alcatraz is never free. Even top runners miss Alcatraz multiple times in a row. It's just one of those things that happens. It's never free in runs. Nothing is ever free. So column 4, let's take a look at that. Both Brindstar missile stations is basically free. Collect all 15 Brindstar super missiles. That one is going to be fairly far out of the way because you'll have to come back for the Etiquette supers. Collect only one of wave recharge. That's straightforward, and that also has fully explore the wreck ship. So that's not a thing. Too much SMZ3R guarantees that Morph will never be free. So it looks like they're both trying to pick up the Brindstar Reserve. Yeah, they are both picking up the Brindstar Reserve. Oh, of course they're picking it. There's 2 missile packs back here. So one of the interesting things about the missile tile is that having to pick up both of these missiles will mean that RBOing up to speed is an even better choice. We're not sure what the comfort level. We know that both of these runners are capable of the Cathedral Hall run, but we aren't sure if either of them. And they're both going for it. They're both picking up the Brindstar Reserve tank. They're both picking up the Brindstar Reserve tank. That is not a tile, so we might be seeing both of them RBO up to speed. So both of them going for the reverse mothball, neither of them getting it. That is a very, very hard trick, and definitely worth going for, but definitely hard. So Beep's deciding to miss the crumble block missiles, and Beep's heading over to the Brindstar map station. And we expect ptoil to be heading the same way, since that is a required tile. ptoil heading to the save room instead. No, that's the map station. Ignore everything we said. Yeah, they are even on the missile count. We're actually pretty surprised that Beeps didn't grab the crumble block missiles. And that Beeps is also doing a setup to skip Billy Mays and Mother Brain missiles. One of the things that we've been wondering how well it would work would be a spoiler log dab rando. That would definitely be an interesting thing. We are always on the lookout of new ways to combine things in Super Metroid to make interesting runs. So ptoil has grabbed one of the Brindstar missile recharges, which is a strong indication that ptoil is going to be doing row 1. We did not see Beeps grab that, and given how far ahead Beeps is, we don't think that Beeps did grab it. So there has been 100% rando match in the history of Super Metroid, and that was CFB versus Zosti. CFB convinced Zosti to make their rando match a hundo match, and Zosti found something important at at the Wreckship Reserve. We want to say that it was gravity, but we don't quite remember, and decided to skip bowling and come back for it later. Meanwhile, CFB went down to bowling and found speed at bowling, and that was the match. Oh, it would be a huge amount of mental overhead, but it would also be interesting to see once or twice. ptoil going for the green tail missiles. It definitely looks like Beeps is setting up to not have to go through Green Brinstar ever again. Well, whereas ptoil looks like is planning on heading back. It's probably going to head back and grab Billy Mays later. Because there's 3 missile packs just sitting there. So they're both heading down, so neither of these players is going to RBO up until Ridley. Sorry, RBO up until Speed. Which is a very, very good practical choice. You'd need to be incredibly confident in your ability to do the Cathedral Hell run in order to actually go for that. So, but Beeps is going to be heading into Kraid and attempting a quick kill. Let's see if Beeps gets it. Oh no! Beeps is in health bomb range. Beeps is only going to get health from Kraid. Beeps just losing in a bingo match. You have so much going on that it's very easy to lose track of something like whether you have enough health to deboost. Beeps with a successful Kraid quick kill. Unfortunately, only going to get health. You're right, Derp. Only health from Kraid actually is okay in this case, because Beeps has a ton of extra missiles. We forgot about all the extra missiles that he has. So taking that deboost anyway could have been a Galaxy Brain move from Beeps, who saw how to play this much better than we did. So another interesting possibility is that Beeps could just go down to LN now. ptoil setting up the missile quick kill. Gets it on the second try, very successfully. That is 2 for 2 quick kills, always what we want to see. So we're fairly certain that ptoil is going to be going for row 1, and that actually changed very well together with Billy Mays, because ptoil can grab 2 powerbomb packs at the top of the red tower, can grab blue Brinstar peeps after Billy Mays, and then can grab Mission Impossible powerbombs right after those, which should only leave 1 powerbomb pack to get. So the 25 powerbombs actually change fairly well together with Billy Mays, which is something that you want to get anyway. So we would expect both of these players to head straight for high jump and then head straight for speed. And then after that, we're going to see which direction they take. Neither players picked up Spazer, so we don't think that we're going to see a dive for LN. So we would expect both players... Yeah, so no dives to LN, so... We would expect something resembling the any% route up to the Phantoon, up to gravity, really. And we're just sitting here watching for divergence. Beeps with the beautiful mockball strat in Cathedral. That is a wonderful strat. It saves 2 missiles, and is only a little bit slower, and it looks really, really cool. ptoil getting their high jump boots. So it looks like they both have their 3 E-tanks, and their 30 missiles. ptoil is almost certainly doing row 1. We don't know which row Beeps is doing yet. Beeps with beautiful gap skips all the way to the missiles. So Beeps, it looks like Beeps is going to be grabbing at least these missiles. We're not. Oh, unfortunately, does not have a super missile. Very, very unfortunate. So much to keep in your head. This is really, really unfortunate for Beeps. Bubble Mountain is an incredibly, incredibly trolly room. Even more so in Dab, based on what we're seeing. And the menuing to do what Beeps is trying to do is difficult. It is much easier to do a running jump when you're not trying to hold charge as well. Like ptoil is diving straight for speed. It'll be interesting to see if either of these players pick up wave. There is a missile along the way, and picking up wave might put both of the. We aren't sure what Phantoon kills each of them do, but it might put them in much more of their comfort zone for Phantoon kills. Or they could just do a 3-round Doppler. So it looks like we have sync, basically sync active speed missiles. So where they go, they will lose 4 more rows if they pick up wave, but ptoil doesn't need those rows. ptoil is already going to do row 1. So where they head after this is going to be one of the big questions. We don't expect anybody. Beeps is not picking up wave. ptoil might. Beeps with the amazing deboost across. That is not an easy deboost. And it looks like ptoil is going to pick up wave. It looks like Beeps is going all the way to Norfair Reserve missiles. We're going to be very interested to see which missiles Beeps ends up getting. Oh, ptoil is actually skipping wave. So another thing we don't know is how much experience both of them have with 125 missile collections and DAB. Because 125 missiles is something that, if you don't have much experience, then what you'll do is you'll just go and grab all the missiles that seem to be mostly in the way. If you have a lot of experience, you might be able to calculate exactly which missiles you want to grab. Which could save 15 seconds over the run. But that's definitely not something that you can do ahead of time. Sorry, that's definitely not something you can do on the fly. That sort of calculation is something you'd have to do way ahead of time. So we still don't know what row Beeps is going to do. We know that column 1 is effectively, column 1 and column 5 are effectively off the table for Beeps. row 5 and row 2 are effectively off the table. Both diagonals are off the table for both players. Row is highly... Beeps basically closed himself off from row 1 by not getting the missile refills. Still possible, but highly unlikely. So we guess that leaves row 3 or row 4 for Beeps, row 3 or row 4 or as rows for Beeps, and there's columns 2, 3, and 4. No, column 2 is forced, so column 3 or 4 is column. Column 3 or 4, or row 3 or 4. Row 4 looks the most promising of that, but it could still definitely be anything. Beep's getting trolled by the red tower. Never, never, never an easy room. You're right, they did grab Speed Booster, so row 3 and column 3 are off the table. Which just leaves row 4 or column 4 for Beeps. Which basically guarantees that Beeps is going for row 4. So we're almost certainly gonna have a row 4 versus row 1. That is a wonderful call on that. And this is gonna be really exciting to see which of those ends up being fastest. Beeps is gonna have to make his way over to the Spiky Room of Death to fully explore the wreck ship. But can also take a safety strat and do that after. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have to get speed for the wreck ship reserve. Yeah, so Beeps also didn't get the Brinstar missile recharge stations, so that confirms that Beeps is going for row 4, simply by process of elimination. It's kind of fascinating to us that the card that Beep's choices already halfway through the card can eliminate so many rows that we can already tell which row Beeps is going for. Unfortunately, missing the moat missiles. So we're gonna expect ptoil to grab the second power bomb pack here. We don't know what power bomb pack ptoil is gonna grab for the last one. It's possible that it could be Meridia Peeps. It could also be the Criteria Peeps. There's a lot of options. And yep, ptoil is starting off on the 25 Peep adventure. And ptoil is going to gain a lot of time back because ptoil will not have to wander over to the Spiky Room of Death. So Beep's intention in laying a power bomb to farm before going down to Pantoon, but only 29 health and probably not knowing how much is in the reserves, that's a wonderful, wonderful decision. So ptoil is opening this door back down. So we wonder if that was just ptoil being just autopiloting, or if ptoil plans to go back down the red tower rather than going down the climb and trying to get Billy Mays and Mission Impossible and Blue Brinstar power bombs. And that's something that we'll find out afterwards. ptoil with the intentional early spark crash. That's going to save him about 35 health. Beep's going for a 3-round Doppler. We're expecting ptoil to also go for the 3-round Doppler. farming was a very good idea for Beeps. Beeps triggers reserve and is much safer for those extra 3 health drops that he picked up. ptoil unfortunately taking a boops in the cover and on the way down. Runner's gonna high five just outside of Fantoon. And it's going to be interesting to see if Beeps decides to save before the Specky Room. Beeps has to grab the wreck shippers. Beeps has to grab the wreck ship map station right now. Unfortunately, didn't grab that while the ship was still powered off. So now there's a few more hazards on the way. ptoil heading this way. It's going to be interesting to see if Beeps heading this way. It's going to be interesting to see if Beeps grabs any of the supers over here. Because Beeps is going to walk right by 2 sets of supers. And grabs the first one. We think that we would expect Beeps to just grab both of them. Because having those extra supers is going to be a lot of safety for... is going to just make bot wound faster. Like, it's definitely possible that they could just have the perfect bot wound, but if they run out of supers at bot, but running out of ammo at bot wound is just never pleasant. Actually, now that we think about it, the argument for not picking those up is that you're gonna have more than enough missiles to just kill bot wound. So we guess that picking up those supers could have gone either way. So ptoil is doing the 2 missile, 3 missile strat. That will give 500 damage per round, and that sets you up for a nice 3 round if you're able to do a missile and a super in the last round. ptoil's health is getting a bit low. But we expect ptoil to be fine. Ooh, Beeps is going for it. Beeps just went for the speed keep attic. That is absolutely the right call. That is absolutely the right call given how low Beeps' health is. And he managed to get the critical portions. So we did not see whether Beeps managed to went and got the Specky Room of Death. We do not believe so, which means that Beeps is going to be grabbing the Specky Room of Death on the way out. This is interesting. ptoil is actually grabbing that on the way out. Grabbing Wave could have definitely been a good decision. Because grabbing wave would give you X factors not only for Fantoon, but also for Botwoon and Dragon. And being able to X factor 3 bosses is a significant improvement. Beeps going for the extra map tiles. Oh, right. Okay, for a second we were wondering why Beeps didn't grab the extra map tile up there. And then we remembered that Beeps has to go and grab the reserve tank anyway. If Beeps didn't have to grab the reserve tank, then the optimal way to grab that map tile would just be to grab the tile from below, and then you can just do a jump from the bottom, and you don't need to spark at all to get all the map tiles. Beeps is locked out of a missile now because of low health, and it's gonna be a bit of a mess trying to farm up more health. ptoil is taking advantage of all the supers and just gonna unload them to clear the attic. Fortunately, gonna have to go back to that key hunter, who could be halfway across the room by now. Fortunately, the key hunter actually was halfway across the room. Beeps with amazing health drops. This is gonna give Beeps enough to spark. Good luck to the runners. And it looks like Beep's execution is just really good today. Beeps is gonna have to go back and grab the wreck ship E-tank. But it'll be much safer to do so with gravity. Beeps will also have to finish in an elevator, which will mean that after Plasma, Beeps is going to have to find a way to Plasma. One interesting option, which is worth considering, but probably not faster. Does ptoil have enough health for this spark? Yes, ptoil does have enough health. Oh no! Oh no. Both runners having terrible luck with Sky Missiles, and now ptoil is gonna... Both runners ending their Spark to Sky Missiles early. Super, super unfortunate. But one interesting option for Beeps would be to just grab the remaining map tiles at the very end after Plasma. We don't think that this is something which Beeps is gonna do, but it is an option. ptoil having to farm up health. ptoil has more than enough health to do. Oh, ptoil is actually going to go back for the missiles, farming up health to spark again. Oh no, misses it again. ptoil is spending a lot of time on these missiles, and does manage to get it. It looks like Beeps is farming some health before the Spiky Room of Death. We didn't see if Beeps actually saved before this, but Beeps needs to be careful. One boop from a platform will put Beeps at fairly low health for everything else. And now is a one-hit KO range from platforms. Taking it nice and safely. Very, very smart decision. But Beep's showing why Explore the Wreck Ship fully can be so hard. This path right here can be very deadly. Fortunately, Beeps is going to get a nice E-tank here and just be at full health. And that is the wreck ship fully explored for Beeps. And then this time, ptoil is caught up. Is just about at gravity. So they're going to be running across the West Ocean at a very similar time. Beeps a little bit ahead. ptoil should have enough health for this spark. I think it's about 30 or 40 health. That looked like it was 48 health, which means that ptoil is very, very close to not having enough health. So super happy that there was enough health there. And now we're expecting ptoil to go down the climb here, go to Billy Mays, and grab the Blue Breen Star power bombs. Meanwhile, we're expecting Beeps to head straight to Dragon. So, Yep, Beeps is... Huh, what is Beeps doing? Yeah, column 2 is absolutely fascinating. This is definitely a long card. Even if column 2 wasn't necessarily the hardest, there's just like there's 3 or 4 different rows which all look awful as well. So this is one of those cards where basically no matter what you give your opponent, it's going to be hard. Okay, so Beeps actually took a health refill before heading down to Meridia. It looks like we have 100 versus 95 missiles, so... Huge props to Beeps for knowing exactly how far he could push this card. Because Beeps only needs 6 more missile tanks, and so doesn't need to play around with... And so has no need to play around with going back to Billy Mays. Beeps knows this incredibly well. And fully explode the wreck ship chained very well with getting all the wreck ship missiles. Billy Mays is a Roman Blue Brinstar with two missile packs in it. But wait, there's more. Looks like ptoil is actually going to head into Gauntlet. With ptoil at 100 missiles, we think that this is a bit overkill. We don't think that ptoil actually needs to do this, and that if ptoil is going to do this, then ptoil doesn't need to do Billy Mays. So it's going to be interesting. Ptoil is at the point where they don't have to be super picky about missiles anymore. It looks like Beeps is 100th missile. 5 more missile packs for Beeps. 1 in Aqueduct, which is right next to some supers that can help with Dragon. 1 in Mama Turtle. 1 in Precious Missiles. And then... we aren't entirely sure what the remaining 2 missiles that Beeps is going to get are. ptoil being very... oh no, that's the wrong square. That's the wrong square. ptoil was off by a little bit. Jumped over the wrong crack, and unfortunately it's only going to get... after all the time going through Gauntlet, it's only going to get 1 missile pack out of it. So it looks like Beeps might actually be heading up here and grabbing these 2 missile packs. The 2 beach missiles. Or maybe just 1. ptoil with all the missiles in the world. It looks like ptoil just opted to skip beta missiles and Billy Mays in favor of trying to do Gauntlet. Which is a very interesting decision, and we believe that it's actually slower, but it's also very hard to make these decisions while playing. So ptoil is opting to get the Edikun. ptoil is opting to get the Edikun supers as well as the Edikun power bombs. This is another fine but suboptimal routing decision, we believe, because there was Blue Brinstar and Mission Impossible have very easy to access power bombs, and then there's Aqueduct has a very, very easy to access super. So perfectly fine routing, and definitely something that's hard to come up with better than under a lot of pressure. but also what we'd consider to be little mistakes, which do add up over time, and could cost ptoil the run. ptoil, very nearly falling into the Kora pit. Managed to break the first speed block, but jumped with about half a tile to spare. And at full run speed, that means that ptoil had 1 or 2 frames to spare. Which is super scary. So it looks like Beeps has some missiles to go. Yeah, it looks like ptoil is opting to skip the Blue Brin missiles. Or the Blue Brin power bombs. And Beep's opting not to go for a spark kill and going for an ammo-only kill instead. Despite... Now he's going for sparks. And that is a color change for Dragon. That must have been 40 missiles into Dragon already. And that is a very dead shrimp. Beeps is only at 110 missiles. Now we're very curious where Beep's extra missiles are going to come from. Because Beep still needs 3 of those. Looks like one of those is the precious missiles. So that should take Beeps up to 115. ptoil has 3 easy missiles along the way. Very nice first try short charge there. That is not easy at all. So it looks like Beeps is in the lead, but Beeps also has to figure out where to get the extra missiles from. It looks like Beeps might be going back to Aqueduct and down a sandpit for the remaining missiles. So Beeps just has to grab Aqueduct missiles, a sandpit missile, and then grab plasma, and then wander towards the Forgotten Highway elevator. Almost a high five in Aqueduct. So it's gonna be interesting. Will Beep choose right sandpit or left? Chooses right sandpit. Probably the right decision. This is well beyond anything that we've ever timed out before. Definitely the right decision. The missiles in right sandpit are much easier to access than ones in left sandpit. Now Beeps just has to get plasma and then get to the elevator. Right sandpit is the right decision because it's on the right. That's exactly how speedrunning works. That is exactly how speedrunning works. World record for RMath any day now. So ptoil does still have to grab this E-tank. There we go. So we believe that, yeah, this is gonna be fairly close. Within a minute of each other, we'd say. So ptoil does not have a super right now. The Metroids have a 24% chance of dropping a super, we believe. And it looks like ptoil is unaware of this, not farming anything for supers. So, bless RNG for the 25% chance, 24% chance. Beeps is heading back down the toilet. It looks like Beeps is actually going to go to the Norfair elevator rather than to the Meridia Curia elevator. This path is definitely more familiar. And that is 125 missiles for ptoil. So we were a Dragon and a plasma beam pick up away from completion. We didn't see quite how ptoil got the super, but based on how quickly it happened, it probably was a Metroid with a good drop. Counting has been successfully done by Link Force and by both of our runners. So GG to everybody on successful counting. And Beeps has finished in first place with a time of 46 minutes and 49 seconds. GG to Beeps. Let's see if we can get them in for an interview. And ptoil is just very, very close to finishing. Unfortunately, Spark's a little bit early. And Dragon is looking very red there. So this last Spark should kill if it hits. And we are joined by Beeps. GG and congratulations on your win. How are you feeling after that?
I'm actually feeling pretty good about way I routed it. I wasn't sure which route to do in the beginning because both row 1 and row 4 were just jumping out at me. Because I was thinking about routes beforehand because I was thinking that column 2 just looks so terrible. I would expect to get that one.
And that's a wonderful way. That's a wonderful way to do it.
Yeah, so I was just planning on row 4 or column or row 1.
Now that you've run it, which one do you think is better, row 1 or row 4?
I think row 4 for sure, because I'm thinking that the fully explore wreck ship really wasn't even that slow, and that's really the worst part of the whole thing. Because the other one, row 1, I was thinking it was going to be not too bad. You're able to get power bombs from Alpha and Beta, Criteria power bomb, and then you've got Mission Impossible and Retro Bryn. Those are your 5 power bombs that you need. But at the same time, it's just a lot of collection. I don't think that fully exploring the wreck ship is that terrible. The big terrible thing in that row is just collect plasma or defeat Ridley.
That makes a lot of sense. We're still undecided about whether row 1 or row 4 is better. But what were you most happy about from that run?
I mean, I didn't die. The reserve is actually useful in the end. I mean, I'm pretty sure I missed some missiles that I should have gotten. Like, I skipped the Bryn Star missile. I thought I was going to go back later and then realized I'm probably not going back there, like the one in Big Pink. So that was a mistake that I made. Actually, how far is ptoil right now? Oh, wait. Never mind.
Just about done. And ptoil has finished second place with a time of 49 minutes and 55 seconds. GG. Astor is commenting on row 2, which would be RBOing up until speed.
Oh man. I mean, I don't know about Road 2, honestly. It's just I mean, I guess the big thing is just RBO. Yeah, GG ptoil.
Yeah, in order to be able to do something like that, you'd have to be very confident in your Cathedral Hell run. Which some players in the tournament are, but a lot aren't. Most aren't.
Like, if I were to be doing a solo dab, maybe I'd do that, but it's just so not safe.
It's
Like,
absolutely
if I were
not
to do it
safe
just
for
for
a tournament
kicks.
match. Would that be the sort of thing that you might consider if you were playing Zost in Dab?
I mean, I guess. But the thing is that, I don't know. It wouldn't even cross my mind, really. I wasn't even thinking about RBO with this at all.
That makes a lot of sense, and it's a very, very practical decision. GG, and let's see who your next opponent is. Looks like your next opponent is Sweetnam.
Oh man. Well, maybe I'll go for RBO then.
And then after that, the winner of Hero 82 and Cross Product.
Yeah, if I'm racing Sweetnam, I'm probably gonna have to pull the really crazy routes out.
Yeah, that's quite a match you have to come up with. But Dab is also one of the categories where it's easiest to beat somebody who's way better than you. Because even if
That
somebody's
is
mechanics
true.
are way better, it's entirely possible for them to just choose a bad row. Especially if you get a complicated card where there's many options that look close to each other.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this one would be one of those cards that are just... It could give a chance if you decide to RBO it.
And this card also had about 4 candidates rows that you could have given to your opponent.
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
all
think
look pretty awful.
I mean, I only saw column 2. That's the only one I really saw that's really terrible. Because it's got the 125 missiles and defeat Dre, and collect plasma and defeat Ridley. I mean, there's defeat Dre in 125, but I don't think that's as bad.
Skip Speed Booster adds additional stuff to that. And then bottom left, top right also forces a double Brinstar cleanup without Speed Booster, which is slow. Probably not as slow as 125 missiles, but
Yeah, I
this
think
looks like a card where there were options.
I feel like column 2 is just the slowest one here, though. But it works with other things. I mean, I don't know.
Aster says this card really rose to the occasion.
Oh, man.
So GG, and good luck again in your match against Sweetnam.
Thanks. And again, GG to ptoil.
GG ptoil with a very nice finish. Any last words before we head off?
Not really. I guess
GG,
just
and good luck with your G mode.
Thanks.
And with that, we're going to head off, and thank you everybody so much for watching. Make sure you follow both of these runners and our tracker link. And we will see you next mission.